It's your Common Sense editorial team, Tanner and Bianca. Every Tuesday, we come at you with a review we've done over on commonsense.org/education, which is a completely free website full of reviews of educational technology. We have one of those reviews today. Bianca, you're going to be discussing something. What is it? We're dying to know.
Tool is called Share My Lesson. So you can see the website down here, and you can see our review over on commonsense.org. Share My Lesson, it's a database of literally hundreds of thousands of lesson plans that are ready to go. We have grades K through 12. You have lessons for adults as well, as in addition to a lot of professional development opportunities too. There's just a ton to dig through on here. If there were any critiques, I guess to say early on, it would be that it is so much content to parse through. But if you're just getting started as a teacher, or you're really wanting to add some extras to your curriculum, this is a great place to go. So you see over here on the website, you can input what you're looking for. So just to test it out, I tried like lessons on elephants, right? And then you can select your grade level, the subject, and the resource type. So like I said, it's K through 12, but you also have higher education, adult education, professional development. The subject over here, exactly. So you can see we're going through all the lesson plans that are on elephants. Hold up while I make this a little bit bigger. It's really impressive how many lessons are on the site and the diverse range that they really provide. Another cool thing about this, a lot of these lessons are sourced by the community, and this entire website is community based. I can get to that a little bit more later, but as you see, your friend here is going to be the filters to make sure that you're finding exactly what you're looking for, and then really just taking the time to parse through and see exactly what you need. We also have this collection section, which is really cool, which features things that are relevant for the month. So here we have a Martin Luther King lesson plan. Martin Luther King Day just passed, but there's also lessons that are just relevant for anything that is happening currently. So you have summer learning, holidays, webinars. Those are there's live ones as well as just archived ones that are just on demand that you can watch at any time. Got SEL, mental health, distance learning, civic education, really anything that you can think of, you can find here in these collections that are sourced by Share My Lesson themselves. So they collect these collections and select some of their favorite things. So that's one cool place to look. If you're like, oh, I know I want to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, but I'm not sure exactly, what I want to do on the subject, that might give you some ideas and inspiration for where to dig into even more. So we can go over to the community section of the site, which I was just mentioning. It's a community-based site. A lot of these are sourced from teachers, educators, assistants, really anyone who has contact with students in that way. And you can either join an existing community. So here that we just passed, you have a community for literacy. So 157 members, 8 discussions that are going on, and you're able to actually contribute to the conversations that are happening within each of them, which is exciting. And if there's something in there that doesn't suit your needs, you can start your own community and have people join it themselves, which is another interesting feature that they have on here. If you're looking for teachers that are interested in the same subjects as you. And then we have the webinars. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of professional development tools on here, which are great for teachers. So we see like this first one, what's the word? Though that said, what is the world? I'm sure there's one on that too. But teaching literacy using Run DMC, yeah. And then we have social media, the impact that it's having on kids. Really anything that you can think of, you can find here. I think another one of the strengths, there's a lot of discussion here about differentiated classrooms. and tools to do that for teachers that may pull a lesson, but then may want to modify it for their specific students. And again, we have the professional development lesson plans and resources that you can dig into to watch all these on-demand webinars, which are pretty awesome if you ask me. What are your thoughts, Tanner, about the site, or do you have any questions about anything that I've shared so far?
Yeah, I mean, it really is a tremendous resource. I think I've always been impressed by the depth of their library and just the amount of subject coverage. And then within each of those subjects, just how much you can find. I also really like that community focused approach that you've got lessons with, renowned organizations like PBS or ADL or NewsGuard or even Common Sense Education. So you've got things that you can trust, and you can, pretty much any subject you might be teaching, you're likely going to find a resource.
Right.
They also have a lot of content in Spanish, which I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think like if we just go up to the browse section, I think it's just nice to take a look at all the different things that you can dig into. You have the grade level and subject. So even if you don't have something super clear in mind that you want to use the search bar and say like, okay, I want to do a lesson on this explicitly, you can just browse and see what's going on. If there are ideas that you want to add. What is this? I looked at free middle school lesson plans and resources. Um, I think there's just a lot of inspiration and ideas for teachers who are just starting out, or even experienced teachers that are just looking to jazz up their curriculum with something new.
Yeah, it is, a bit of a treasure trove, I would say, just with the amount of stuff you can find. And of course, all free, which is an important aspect of this.
Yes. Free.
There's also a set of special resources if you're an AFT member, which you might want to check out. If you're in a union, investigate that. They also have listed some specialized communities for all of those different AFT unions. So look into that. But such a great mix of lesson resources and PD all in one. It's really a tremendous learning
For sure.
collection.
And also, if you go to browse, you can see there's some information on standards too. If that's something that your school is heavily driven by, you can take a look at the kind of standards that are covered right there. Exactly.
Yeah, and you can see here on the page too, when you initially sign up for Share My Lesson, they ask you a bunch of details about your kind of professional, what your grade interests are, subject area interests, and I believe then you get some personalized recommendations for content that'll make the site more useful.
Yeah, and you just reminded me too. There's a dashboard on the site too that has different sections that say recommended, latest news, and what to adjust this month. So that's a good place to get started. If you're just overwhelmed by the amount of content on there, but you can also opt to receive text notifications for specific things. So that's another way to save you time, just so that those things get sent directly to you.
Yeah, it could. This is one of those sites that, could be a bookmark for you that you're returning to every week as you're doing your planning to find new things to use. So thank you, Bianca. And of course, subscribe, return, come back, like the video, comment, ask questions. We do read the comments. See you next week.